Today we're here at VertiMax to talk about VertiMax and resistance, the new technology by VertiMax. As physical therapists in the clinic, we're used to these TheraBands. A typical exercise would be a shoulder external rotation. As you can see with something like this, a TheraBand, you get this variable resistance and variable speed throughout the range. In fact, you see a lot of patients start moving their body and they don't know really how to stabilize. So what VertiMax has developed is technology where there's near constant velocity. So with this band you're getting the constant resistance for the most part and speed throughout the range. In fact, if I move out, as you can see, it doesn't change the amount of resistance that you have, okay, whether I'm here or here. But again, with a TheraBand, we're stuck to being here and creating as much torque as we can to get this band to stretch. So with the VertiMax's band, very nice, constant resistance as we go out. Now, it's understood that you don't need to do this with an external rotation exercise, but later we're going to show you something more functional that will make this a lot more practical for the clinical situation. So, Emily, why don't you come over here and let me show you some exercises. So you can see we're standing side by side to demonstrate the difference between the loop band and the Raptor technology. With the loop band, the anchor point is your trail leg, and so the leg blade is depending on the trail leg to be stable. So as you sidestep, there's a lot more chance that you're going to have some instability. Versus the Raptor, as you can see, each leg is loaded independently. And the advantage of that is with that trail leg, that load is being taken up, the foundation is taken up by the wall. Go ahead and step back. So you're a lot more efficient in building stability in the trail leg and your ability to move the lead leg and activate those muscles concentrically and eccentrically to get out of it what you need. So to reiterate, with the loop band, each leg depending on the other leg versus the Raptor, each leg works independently. So with the lead leg, you're getting activation of the hip abductors, and then the trail leg, you're getting activation of the adductors. And step back. And as you can see, she's having a much easier time creating stability, therefore her trunk doesn't have to compensate. So here's where it gets exciting for us in the clinic. That variable resistance and variable speed. Here we're demonstrating a lunge. As you can see, we're independently loading each leg. So this really helps to facilitate the stability of the stance leg and the strengthening of the open chain leg. So as she steps back, that stance leg, she's really activating her hamstring and her glute eccentrically. And she also has to control the movement. Whereas with no resistance, there's no emphasis on controlling that motion, or there's less emphasis on controlling that motion. This really helps to facilitate posture, stability, and mobility. Okay, Emily, I'm going to have you go out one more time. I want to demonstrate the technology here. As you can see, she's able to go 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 feet out. Where with a typical TheraBand, you can't get more than 2 or 3 feet away from the wall. Not only that, but that resistance is so significant at that point because the band is so stretched out. Okay, go ahead and step back. So you're getting that same resistance, and she's allowed to keep that same speed throughout the entire exercise. And trust me, she's working pretty hard here. Good. Load. Load that stance leg. Good. Very nice. Good job. So we've reversed the direction with Emily here. Now she's facing the VertiMax Raptor board. Now she's going to go ahead and perform a lunge again. So now we're basically here making the muscles work opposite to what they were working before. Now she's working concentrically as she moves back. And again, as you can see, she's able to step out 10, 20, 30 feet. So this really enhances the efficiency of doing this exercise. She's able to do more steps before she has to stop. There you go. Now she's working eccentrically as she's coming back. And remember that each limb is independently loaded, which allows it to work more efficiently as you're trying to teach it how to stabilize through the range of motion. Very nice. There you go. As you can see, she's trying to control her movement. This is a very demanding exercise. Good. Excellent. Good, and step back. Good. Now she's working eccentrically. And I want to point out that the nice thing about this board is that we can vary the angle of pull for someone who might be taller or shorter. Okay. Again, here at the VertiMax Raptor, now Emily's going to demonstrate hip hinging strategies. The VertiMax Raptor is great for facilitating that hip hinging. Okay, remember the advantage of being able to vary the angle of pull to get what you want. It's also constant resistance. You don't need a lot here. All we're trying to do is facilitate that hip hinge. Good. That resistance, that light resistance here is facilitating Emily sitting back in that chair. Good. Hold. You can also work on trunk position in this exercise. Emily, go ahead and bring your trunk up a little more upright. Good. As you stand up, pull those hips through. Good. So not only are you activating the glutes going down, but as you come up through that resistance, you're also activating the glutes. Okay, go back down again. Excellent. Trunk upright a little bit. There you go. Pull those hips through. Back and down. Good. Now, as we all know, the overhead squat is an important movement pattern to aspire to do well. So with this, we've added 2 more resistance bands. Emily's going to go ahead and squat and reach up. Bring your trunk a little more upright. Good. Stand, pull those hips through, arms down, back down, squat. Good. A little more upright. Pull those ribs in a little bit. There you go. So with this exercise, obviously we're working on hip hinging. We're also able to facilitate nice articulation through the shoulder. There you go. Excellent. So here, Emily's going to demonstrate a core exercise. Again, with 2 attachment points. The waist attachment's giving us some facilitation to stabilize the trunk. She's going to bring the other attachment out in front of her. And right there, she's already engaging her core. The nice thing about the VertiMax is she's going to be able to walk away now. Go ahead and start walking down. If you recall our previous exercise where she independently loaded each leg as doing a crab walk, you could do the same thing here. Everything is going concentric and now everything's eccentric. Good. You can see on that right leg how she has to really stabilize as she leads with her left. Excellent. Great way to engage the core, facilitate hip stability. This, as you know, anytime you're in this position, it wants to rotate you back, so it's a derotation exercise. Good. Engage the core muscles and then sidestep. Nice job. Great way to work on posture, hip stability, hip activation, core activation. Nice job. And to remind you, that resistance is going to change very little from the start to the finish. The benefit of that is this exercise becomes a lot more efficient. She's not limited to 2 or 3 feet away from the wall. Versus the VertiMax Raptor, you can go out 10, 20, 30 feet. Nice job. I want to show you the 3rd exercise in this series. Emily here is doing a similar squat with a rip. Again, the nice benefit is that constant resistance and that constant speed that Emily's able to produce throughout the full range of motion. Good, good. There you go. Nice. Good. All right, Emily, I'm going to have you move to the left. We're going to do the same exercise. We're going to change the angle pull. You're going to still stabilize over that left leg. Let the VertiMax pull you back into rotation and then rip out of it. Single limb squat, rotate, nice hip stability in the left. De-rotate out. Good, stabilize at the top through that left hip and back down. Nice job. Again, to demonstrate the versatility of the VertiMax Raptor, we have Emily here in a quadruped position to work on some core activity. So we have 2 attachments, one around the trunk and one around the shoulder. Again, we have Emily doing a quadruped exercise. She's moving her limbs in a reciprocal fashion, arms and legs. As you can see, the nice thing with the Raptor is that we're able to load the shoulder and the trunk independently. And a very similar resistance throughout the full range. Good. Nice job. So Emily's demonstrating a plank exercise where we've independently loaded the shoulder and the hip with the VertiMax Raptor. The nice thing about this is it really facilitates Emily to actively load that shoulder girdle. So when she comes down through and brings her left arm underneath, she's really stabilizing through that right shoulder. Excellent. Emily's going to demonstrate a typical PT exercise, the bird dog. Again, you can see we've independently loaded the trunk and the right shoulder. This is great for facilitating that stability through the right shoulder. Good. So this exercise requires that Emily really activate the shoulder and the trunk. It does give her a little bit of an advantage in terms of controlling her body motion, but it really activates the muscles of those areas. Good. Emily, go into full push-up position. So now Emily's in a full plank, and she's also going to demonstrate the bird dog in full plank. Good. Of course, you're only going to be able to do the reciprocally one side. We can have her turn around and do the other side if we desired. Again, you can see the loading, independent loading through the shoulder and the hip.